We are in downtown Madison at one of the places that really started it all. 1994 is when Great Dane Brewing Company started, right?
Indeed, yep.
So this is Rob. Rob, this was kind of your idea, this whole thing.
Yep, myself and a college buddy are the co-founders. I started home brewing with him in the dorms in the mid-'80s.
In the dorms.
In the dorms.
Where was this?
This was Vassar College in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Vassar? I thought that was like for women.
Isn't
that a women's only college?
That's the first thing that every Vassar guy hears.
Yeah, right?
Vassar, isn't that a girls' school?
So it's a co-ed school.
Co-ed school.
Did it used to be just for women?
Until '69. The funny thing is that Matthew Vassar, who founded the college, was a brewer. So
really?
Yeah.
So there's like a long history of the college and brewing. Do they have like a brewing program there? Or?
They don't have a brewing program, but it's kind of funny because Vassar doesn't really pay a lot of attention to the athletics, but the athletic teams are called the Brewers. I sold my '69 Charger and I bought a plane ticket and went and visited my brother in Germany for a while.
Okay.
There you go.
And that's when it all starts.
Yep. I'd always been into cooking. I grew up in an Italian family. I got to college. I realized if I wanted good food, I had to cook it myself.
Right.
So I was known as the chef, and for the group of friends, we'd have a Thanksgiving meal every month. Invite a bunch of friends over, and
you had Thanksgiving every month.
Every month.
Wow. Okay.
I would cook it for everyone.
Wow.
And then when I went over and visited my brother and got turned on to good beer, I came back and just seemed like a natural extension. Like, okay, now I'm gonna cook my own beer.
What part of Germany are you in when you're visiting over there?
Bavaria, right outside of.
That's the place you want to be.
Yeah.
So give me an idea.
Aventinus.
Of the beer that you fell in love with when you were over there.
Aventinus. That's when the clouds parted and the light shone,
and you said, I know what I must do.
Yeah.
It's like that scene in the Blues Brothers where the light just shines on Jake and he starts doing cartwheels. Exactly. So downtown Madison is a really cool place. Yeah. Hasn't always been super cool, right? You kind of got here at the genesis of whatever wave of coolness this is for downtown Madison, right? You were kind of at the beginning.
But then, it just seemed natural that there was going to be a resurgence. And when we showed up, there were still a lot of people. I remember some of the bankers who shut us down and said, we're not lending you the money.
Right.
Oh, downtown, it's all just drugs and prostitutes.
Well, and
we just felt like it was the right time to invest in what we saw as a nice urban renaissance that was starting to happen.
And before too long, you've got this original location in downtown Madison. You ended up buying the place next door, turned that into a really cool pool hall, and there's locations all around Dane County, right? That's where the name comes from, Dane County?
Yes.
I mean, Great Dane is a type of dog. That's a play on words, right?
Yeah, a little double entendre there.
You're all the way up to Wausau.
Yep.
Is that in Dane County?
No, it's not.
How about that?
Yeah.
So there's locations all over the place. Your mission statement, the kind of beers that you make here at Great Dane.
Well, it's kind of roots and wings.
Roots and wings. Explain that for me.
Roots and wings. We always had our feet firmly planted in tradition. We have had multiple lagers right from day one. And, going back into the early mid-'90s, a lot of places, it was 4 ales. You had a light, an amber, a dark, and some kind of specialty.
Right.
We've always had a Czech Pilsner in our rotation. We always had a Vienna lager in our rotation. And when we make a beer, especially, the traditional styles of beer, the German Pilsner, the Czech Pilsner, the Oktoberfest, the cask-conditioned ales, those are not just American interpretations. I mean, we source our raw materials from 5 different countries. We treat our water. We use the appropriate yeast. So, I mean, you're getting authentic reproductions of these traditional styles. I mean, we have 16 beers on tap at any given time.
Right.
And only 9 of those are regulars.
Right.
So we have plenty of room for experimentation, and we do experiment a lot. I mean, we just put on a caffeinated IPA.
Oh, wow.
We've got a bunch of other ones in the works. We've just put out a great Flemish sour. We do a remarkable, we call it a Belgian Prairie, which is 2/3 of a traditional triple blended with 1/3 of fermented white wine must from Wollersheim Winery. So really, like, you end up with this, really nice beer that translates almost as a triple, but then at the end you're like, the wine comes in. And we always have multiple IPAs.
Well, it's about knowing what your audience wants, what the market wants. And if you're hearing people want both, and you give them both, then that's why you've been around since 1994.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Clearly you're doing some things right here.
I know it's kind of an East Coast reference, but I really don't. I don't want to be the crazy Eddie of beer.
Right,
like, we're
right.
insane.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, because if you're always chasing whatever is new and trendy, and you're never gonna, you can't possibly win that, right?
Yeah, no. But at the same time, we do it. We have enough specialty beers on tap that the brewers can go and have fun. They could try something wacky.
Can we try some of these beers?
Why not?
This is your Oktoberfest.
Yep, it is.
So this has got Vienna lager. What do you got in here? What sort of Vienna yeast? What are we using here?
It's.
By the way, is there any way I could get a bigger one? Sheesh.
Yeah. I just returned, actually. I was there on opening day.
You were in Munich?
I was in Munich.
No kidding.
Yeah. But it's funny.
When the beer comes this big, and I don't want to tell you how to run your business, you really should have a lifeguard posted. This is ridiculous.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Or Prost.
Prost. Oh boy. So this is very traditional. This tastes as close to.
And the interesting thing about Oktoberfest is that, traditionally the Oktoberfest style of beer was the Märzen style of beer, which is what this is.
Right.
A little more amber-colored beer, a little maltier, a little richer. But over the years, they started serving beer for the masses there. So it kind of morphed into more of a Pilsner style beer that they serve at Oktoberfest. So the funny thing is that this is a more traditional Oktoberfest beer than you get at Oktoberfest.
I don't know. I mean, can you do better than that? A better Oktoberfest beer in Madison, Wisconsin than you could get in Munich? They know what they're doing.
It's got the medals to prove it.
Yeah, and let's talk about the medals real fast.
Yeah,
because
sure.
That's a big deal. The Great Beer Festival, the Great American Beer Fest.
Yeah.
You guys have done all right over the years.
Yeah, we're in the double digits easily. And the Oktoberfest alone won both bronze, silver, well, can't say both. Bronze, silver, and gold, all three.
In different years.
In different years, yeah.
Makes sense. And the beer garden at the downtown location is something, too, you got to check out, because that beer garden, coupled with any one of these beers, you're in for a great time. Yeah. Rob, thanks so much for the time.
Yeah.
And thanks for making the great beer, and thanks for having a dream and following through, and now we get to all drink the beer when we're here in Madison. So, Rob, again.
Cheers.
Prost.
Prost. Thanks for coming by.
Anytime.
Next on Brewed, Wisconsin's backyard. Pull up a lawn chair and take in one of the coolest brewery settings we've seen.